Hey guys, this is like so awkward, but it's a video that has to be made. I have to vent, I have to let this out because it's just like, I don't even know how to explain it. But anyways, let's just get into it. So, I'm single, as you can tell from the title, again, and this time for good. And I mean it when I say it, because I'm not going to make another one of these videos and then, you feel me, go back type stuff. But I wanted to explain, like, just so people really believe me and understand, like, where I'm coming from. And if the thing is crooked, I'm sorry. I'm parked, like, on a hill, so it's kind of slanted, so I have to do some weird stuff with the camera. But moral of the story. Anyways, back to what I was saying. We broke up, like, I think it was like a week and a day ago. Which was like, what, the middle of March? What is it? It's like the end of March today. So, yeah, we broke up like on the 22nd of March. So, this is probably the third, if not more than third time we've broken up since we had our baby. But this, guaranteed, mark my words, this video as my proof. It ain't gonna be no 4, 5 times, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm cool. I'm very forgiving. I'm a very forgiving person. I believe people should have multiple chances in life and things like that. But the breakup was not even on bad terms. We had a conversation that was just a conversation that lasted for 2 whole days. And it wasn't the nicest conversation, but it wasn't the meanest as well. It was just two people kind of just stating where they're at in life, what they want, and the fact that the other can't provide that for them. So I'm not who he want to really be with, and he not who I really want to be with. And it sucks that it take all of this and we had to go through everything we went through to finally understand that, or at least for me, because I'm only gonna speak for myself, because I thought this whole time, these past 3.5 years, that, you know, everything cool. There's some difficulties, there's some barriers, but for the most part, like, we cool. We have a nice bond. We have a strong connection. We have similar goals and blah, 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 blah. But the way we approach literally everything in life is completely opposite. And to a point, it's good to, like, be with somebody who's your opposite, and you know, it balances each other. And I feel like that did play a part for as to why it played out so long. But now it's to the point of where, like, okay, real life really sets in. Like, can you live with someone who acts like this? No. And that's on both parts. No. We both cannot live with each other. We're just not compatible in that sense. And yeah, like, so that was just that. That was the breakup. Cool, dandy, whatever. The only problem I had with our whole situation ending is like, oh damn, now my daughter is gonna have to be split yet again. So how's this gonna work? Because the first time we had really, technically second, but the first time we really split was when our daughter was 2 months old. And like I stated in my last video, which I believe is my postpartum depression video, that is really the cause of what sparked and sent me into a very deep and dark depression. Is because he chose to pick up the baby, which was normal, on a Wednesday. This is back when she was 2 months old. And instead of the normal situation that we had going, which was he pick her up in the morning, he drop her off at night, he decided to take it upon himself and tell me that the baby's going to be spending the night. Now, mind you, my baby was 2 months old. I am a new mom. We have a bond attached to each other like no other. My baby had never even been away from me for the night. That was the first time she had ever spent the night without me. So, of course, I lose my mind. I lost all my marbles, and I went back crazy. But, rightfully so. You don't just take the baby and be like, I want her to spend the night, so she's going to spend the night. Like, you need to discuss, because this isn't just your decision to make. But he don't care. He's a very stubborn person, and he wants what he wants. He's very spoiled. He's a spoiled brat, to be exact. So he did what he did, and that was that. So then eventually I adjust to the situation, and I'm like, okay, now she's going to be spending the night every Wednesday. But I'm like, okay, cool, like whatever, that's not forever. I want to get back with him at that time, so I'm like, I want to be back together. I don't even care what he talking about. We're gonna be a family, we're gonna be happy, blah 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 blah. So time goes on, we end up getting back together, and then another situation happens to where he wanted to take the baby to go see his sister and some family members or whatever. Cool. So the night before he was supposed to pick up the baby and take her to go see his family or whatever, she wasn't feeling good. She threw up all over me and herself. Like, it was a large amount of throw up. Mind you, she's still, only maybe 3 months at this time, if that. So she's still a very newborn. I wasn't comfortable with her spending the night, because I think he ended up changing it and wanted it to be her spending that night, so in the morning they can just go. And so I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel comfortable with her spending the night tonight because she doesn't feel good. I need to know if my baby's okay. And he's not a good co-parent to where if the baby's at his house and something bad happens, he's probably not even going to tell me. If something good happens, he's not going to tell me. Like, it's just complete silence. And especially when a baby's that young, you need to know, like, oh, she ate this many times a day, she pooped this many times a day, this and that. Like, you need to know the details when it comes to such a small baby, because it affects everything else. And it was bad on top of that every single Wednesday when he was bringing her back home at first, before she started spending the night, she's crying all night. I can't get her to go to bed. She's in a large amount of pain and all this stuff. Like, I have so much text messages and proof to prove all of this. But in his head, I'm making it up because I don't want my baby at his house. That wasn't the point. If my baby came home smiling and happy, I wouldn't say nothing. And there's proof of that in the text messages, because there was a week when he actually brought her home and she wasn't miserable. So I didn't say anything. But of course, whatever, we ended up getting back together. And then what else happened? Because I've made this type of video 3 times. This is my 3rd time, technically 4th time, making this type of a video, just because of how much he's put me through the past 8 months. Like, it's sad that we have to keep going through this, but I'm done with it, so we're not going through it no more. So that's why I'm speaking on it, so I can speak my piece and just be done, and y'all can understand where I'm coming from and won't be questioning me, talking about, why y'all not together no more? I want y'all to be happy and in love and blah blah blah. Y'all can make it work. No, we can't. No, we can't. Okay, so I had to change positions because the camera cut off. It was overheating, so I had to change positions. So hopefully it will overheat by the time I'm done saying what I gotta say. But anyways, I want to go back a little bit because I, the reason I told that story about the baby not feeling good and I didn't want her to spend the night without me, because he's not gonna tell me anything I need to know firsthand, or even if he tells me something, it would be a gist. But mind you, at that time when we had that argument and that fight, we were supposed to be together. We were deciding to work things out and be together and do this and do that. But then you just hit me out of nowhere talking about, eventually I'm going to start taking the baby 3 days out of the week. So basically you better get used to it, or you better be prepared. And when I'm in that space to do that, I'll let you know. So again, you're telling me what you're going to be doing with our baby, and it's like I have no say in it. I didn't tell him no, yes, whatever. It was more so like, we're in a relationship. We're supposed to be working this out and figuring it out, but because we had one fight, because you too stubborn to know what's best for your baby, you only want to do what you want to do because you're a selfish, spoiled brat. Now it's, I hate you again, and I this and that. Like, that's the problem with dating Scorpios. Like, oh my goodness, don't date a Scorpio if you're not compatible with a freaking Scorpio, because you would just be over the edge every day dealing with them. Just oh, it's too stressful. Like, you literally keep so much bottled inside that you can't even be honest and true to yourself. So you don't know how to communicate how you feel and this and that. So, like, every time it's just like, it's just an explosion. It's just an explosion. It's just an explosion. Like, he never wants to work through things. He never wants to figure out a solution. He just wants what he wants, when he wants it, how he wants it, and can't nobody say nothing about it. Like, nigga, this is my baby. Are you stupid? Like, are you dumb? But anyways, okay, cool. So that conversation happened, and we ended up breaking up after that conversation about him taking the baby for 3 days out of the week. But finally, for once in our whole entire co-parenting hood, he gave me a warning. So as the days and the weeks go by, she's still just going 1 day a week to his house. I'm mentally preparing myself so that it's not like the end of the world like it was when he first took her. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm gonna learn how to, deal with my days. It's gonna give me more time to go to work. Is my stuff overheating again? Dang. Yeah, it is. But I'm just gonna hold it. So, is there some right here? Like, I'm trying to find some shade so that way y'all can't get overheated so I can keep talking. I think it's better right here. But let me close this actually. Hold on. So if the camera doing a lot of gyrating, I'm sorry, but I talk with my hands and it helped me get things out and process things in my brain. So that's what that is. Back to the story. So that point we broke up. Turn the car back off. We broke up, and I'm actually gonna roll this window up because there's gardeners over there and they're loud in my ear. So we broke up and I started getting used to, I'm like, okay, let me adjust to the change, let me have time and think and prepare myself for when the day does come that he's gonna want to be with the baby 3 days out of the week. Never did I say no, you can't have the baby, no this and that, but that was not my end goal. I at that point still wanted to be with him, still wanted to work things out. So I'm like, let me compromise, let me, you know, just make things like better for everybody, whatever we do. I don't know. Anyways, further down the line, we ended up getting back together, wherever, however, I don't even remember. Okay, sorry, last interruption. I just came back home because I'm tired of my thing overheating. So we shouldn't have no more problems. So where was I talking about? We broke up as the days. So yeah, we had broke up after, we literally broke up way more than 4 times. I'm like 3, 4 times. No, it's been more than that. But so whatever, I had started to adjust because I'm like, okay, like it's right for her to be with her dad. Like, I'm not here to keep them away from each other, whatever. Like, I got daddy issues, you don't need daddy issues, whatever. So I start, you know, adjusting and preparing for the day when he does say like, okay, I'm ready to have her, you know, half of the week type of a thing. So eventually that day never came and we ended up getting back together yet again. And then it's just a joke here how it all really plays out, because it's just like, really, dude, really, you've been doing all of this like all these months? Like, how did all of this happen in 8 months? Like, it don't even make no sense. But anyways, fast forward, we got back together, we broke up yet again. And I'm always the one trying to compromise. I'm always trying to be like, okay, do what's best for your daughter, not for yourself. I'm always trying to adjust to situations and things like that where it's not being matched. Now, mind you, at this time, I thought this is too high. At this time, our baby's what? Who knows? Maybe 6 months by now. Well, no, in November. So how old would that be? November. So at that point, she was like what, 4 months old. We broke up again. It was a situation where I wanted things to go my way, he wanted things to go his way. We couldn't meet in a common ground, but I ended up saying, like, basically, you're not finna keep trying to tell me what to do with my baby. You act how you want to act with her. When she's with you, cool. I'll act how I want to act when she's alone with me. Cool. But that got blurred in the middle. Of course, it didn't work that way. And we ended up having a huge breakup. Now, that was our big breakup. That was when I had made my I'm single video, woo. So then, after that, 2 weeks go by of horrible co-parenting. And that's the #1 place where that man lacks as a father. Because you can't communicate to save your damn life. Or anybody else's for that matter. Like, he wants what he wants when he wants it. If he don't like you and he hates you, he really gonna hate you. Whether you really did something to him or not, he gonna hate you. Because that's that Scorpio stuff. You ain't even really gotta do nothing to them for them to really be upset about something. But cool. So he starts being petty. You know, he's picking her up and dropping her off, and he's going for walks with her. He's seeing her when he want to see her. I've never limited his time with her. I've never said, you can't come see her, you can't do this, you can't do that. All I've ever asked was a head warning. Like, okay, if you prepare, if this is your plan, you need to tell me ahead of the plan, X, Y, and Z is what I'd like to happen. But he's never done that. And so it got to the point to where he would pick her up, never come back and drop her back off, never tell me or communicate to me if he want her to spend the night or if I should come pick her up, yada, yada, yada. And it's just a complete cycle of that, a complete cycle. And it's happening more and more and more and more and more. And it's making me frustrated to the point, like, I never do that to you. If you say, oh, I want to come pick up Amira on this day, you come and pick up Amira on this day and I'm where I'm supposed to be. If I'm ever not at home, I'd be like, oh, okay, come get her from here. I've never did that to you. I've never said, oh, come pick up Amira and then be in Kalamazoo. Like, you feel me? Like, I've always been a great co-parent. Great. Okay, honey. And mind you, through all of this man has given me maybe money one time. Maybe two. I don't really remember. I say maybe two at the most. 2 times money to help support our daughter. And even when we was breaking up and doing all that, when he was keeping her 1 day a week, his reason for not giving me money to help out with her was, well, I take care of her on my day, so you take care of her on your days. Mind you, I had her 6 days a week. He had her 1 day a week. And on that 1 day, he did not provide for her. His mother did. Everything in that house, if it wasn't provided by the baby shower, if it wasn't one of his sisters who brought it through, if it wasn't paid for by his mom, it for dang sure was not paid for by him. But whatever, that's y'all business. If your mama want to raise your baby and be your baby mama number 2, that's y'all business. Have fun. I'm not even baby mama number 2. She just want to be the baby mama. Y'all can have it at this point. But so at the point to where I just didn't even care anymore, and I had lost all respect, because it's like, you keep telling me, oh, I'm gonna give you money this day, never gives me money, like. And there's been multiple incidents of that. So that's why I ended up just losing respect. And even when we got together after the breakup in November, we ended up getting together back in December. So it was a very short breakup, maybe 3 weeks at the most. We ended up getting back together, and that's when we came back on YouTube eventually over time, because it was a very sensitive subject. That breakup in November was very bad, so it just was a lot to recover from. I fell out of love. I didn't love him at that point, but I'm like, I really owe this to my daughter to try if it could make it work. And so I was like, I can learn to love him again, and we can figure this out. I can gain respect for him if he ever steps up to the plate and decides to be a man, instead of letting his child's mother pay for everything and take care of the baby every day, and still try to figure out how to make something happen for myself. But I put me on the back burner. You know, whatever, cool. I have to pay stuff for my daughter. She's more important. I have to sacrifice time and be with her every day. She's more important. But even after the breakup in November, we got back together like 3 weeks later. And what else happened? So then it was more to the point of like, okay, like I could tell it was kind of like the final straw. Like, it's either gonna work or it's not, type of a thing. But I wanted to work for my daughter, for her to have a family, for her to have what I'd never had, type of a thing. But it really wasn't for me. But I had just experienced dating again. I'm like, it's hard to date when you have a baby 90% of the week. I barely get a day off, and things like that. So I'm like, you know, whatever. But so whatever. So where was I going with this? So basically, us getting back together the last time in December, when we had decided to make it work, and we decided to get therapy and, you know, try to move forward with everything. It was more just like, okay, he say he's gonna be a man. He say this is his goals. He say this is that. And that's the problem. I need to stop trusting this man, because obviously anything he's ever told me has never came to fruition. And, you know, but that's me. I'm just a trusting person. I'm a forgiving person. You know, if you say something and you mean it, then that's what it is. Like, you know, like, I'm very trusting. But not the case. So, still never really gave me money. And it got to the point to where it's like, I'm not even no type of person to beg and ask nobody for nothing. Like, if I have to fix my mouth to ask you for something, 9 times out of 10 I'm not gonna ask you to do it, because if you knew something needed to be done, you would have did it. Just like, I'm like, okay, like towards the end of the relationship, I started setting him up, and I'm like, let me, you know, have him take us to Target so he can see, oh, I'm buying diapers, or I'm buying this, or I'm buying that. And every time, like when we first got together, that's what tripped me out. The first time we had got back together, in December, we had went to Target, and she needed A&D ointment and some couple other things. So I'm checking out, I'm getting everything, and we was sharing a cart because he had needed some things too. So the A&D ointment was left in the cart after I was done checking out, and he was like, he just kind of looked at it, and he looked at me, and he was like, oh, you forgot this. You couldn't even buy your baby a $5 thing of A&D ointment, but you buying stuff for yourself. You did not once offer to at least pay half of something that costs $5. But I'm just like, a joke. But I keep testing him. I'm like, okay, I keep taking him to Target with me. I keep letting him see I'm buying all these diapers every month. I'm buying all this stuff, whatever. And he's like, clueless. It go right over his head. And he don't even think twice to offer me money ever. And it's like, I'm not gonna keep sitting here and begging you to take care of your daughter. If you don't want to take care of her, cool, say that. Say less. I got this. I made sure that I was able to get this. But whatever. So that's when the respect kind of was lost. And that was our last argument. And that's what it kind of revolved around. I had got some alcohol in my system. And I was basically like basically there was no more paper plates in the cabinet. He took the last paper plate because I remember he was at my house. He was eating earlier that day. He took the last paper plate, didn't even tell me to say, like, there's no more paper plates. So in a text message, I got mad. I'm like, are you serious? Did you eat the last paper plate and not tell me it was there? Because he does this often. He'll use the last paper towel and not tell me there's no more paper towels. He'll use the last plate. He'll use the last cup. Like, whatever it is, he'll use the last of everything in this house that he does not pay for. I provide everything in this house. Always have. But that's cool. It's not his house. He don't need to provide it. But at least, I said, the least you could have did was tell me there was no more plates. Because when I came home and I'm ready to eat and I've had a long day and I've been stressed out, because that was just a stressful day, the day that we had this argument. It was very stressful for me. But after a long day, I just want to come home and eat a meal. I can't even eat a meal because I ain't got no dang paper plate. Like, and I could use a dish, but it's missing the point. I like paper. I don't want to keep adding to my list of things to do. I already don't like doing nothing. So the least is the better. So when I want my paper plate, that's all I said. I texted him. I said, the least you could have did was tell me that there was no more paper plates, because you don't help out in any other way around here. And woo, that set that man off, honey. He got so enraged. And that's just basically what led to the end of us. And it wasn't a mean breakup. Like I said, it wasn't the nicest conversation, but it truthfully wasn't the meanest for what we've had. We met up that same day, the day we went to the park, and I posted that video on here too. And I cut off the camera when he came because it was just like, it wasn't good energy. It wasn't a good day. We had been basically arguing, discussing things of how we're just both not happy, how he's not what I want him to be, and how I'm not what he wants me to be. So let's not be together. And that was just my final thing. We just don't need to be together. If we was doing so good. We had actually, fell back in love, found a routine that works for all three of us. We was all spending time together as much as we could and blah blah blah. But of course he worked so much we couldn't really spend that much time together. But I was still doing everything by myself. I was still taking care of my daughter every day, which cool, that's fine because I signed up for it. But I'm not gonna be in a relationship with somebody who just thinks they can provide for themselves and not anything over here. But then when I ask you for money and I go off and I tell you, okay, this is the amount I spent, this is what I bought, it was, okay, I'm gonna give you the money on Thursday. Then Thursday come, I'm gonna give you the money in 2 weeks. It's a never-ending cycle with this man, and I'm just over it. Honestly, it's disgusting that I even dealt with it. I'm just embarrassed. Like, that's embarrassing. But moving on to more important events, regardless of the breakup, that's what happened. Now the problem is, okay, so I thought the breakup would be hard on us because we were still very much in love, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I don't feel in love right now, so I don't feel hurt about the breakup. But the day it happened, we were both pretty sad. Like, it wasn't a good feeling or whatever, but we went to therapy the next day, and I was basically saying, like, we don't have to hate each other. We can still go for walks as a family. We can still, do things as a family, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to be dang near freaking, what's the lady? I can't even think of the lady name, but I'm trying to be Peacemaker Lisa over here. And in his mind, as soon as we broke up, we became enemies. And I thought that the breakup was going to be a lot harder on me. So I'm like preparing, like, okay, if we ease our way out of the relationship, it'll be a lot less harder than just jumping straight out, changing our life, changing our baby's life, whatever. Woo. But I'm happy that he didn't want to accept that. He's like, it's too fresh. He don't want to go for family walks. He don't want to be around me. He don't want to see the baby over here. When it's my days with her, then it's just my days. When it's his days with him, then it's just him. Like, but I'm over here trying to ease into things, and he's just like, nope, let's jump. I want what I want, when I want it, how I want it, just like the past, just like everything's always been. But cool, whatever. I don't even care, because mind you, I've been taking care of this baby for the past 4 months in a row by myself, every single day. Never had a day off. The days when I was sick, I still had to be a mom. Like, that's challenging and it's tiring. So yeah, like, cool. Like, I was like, cool, I'm not against you having your 3 days a week, but can we go slowly? Out of respect for the mother of your child and her mental health, which you should care about. If this is someone you recently just broke up with, you recently, you feel me, like, was just claiming you was loving and blah, 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 whatever else. I don't even want to cry because I'm really not sad, but it's more of annoyance. I think that's why I'm crying. It's like, it's a disappointment. But anyways, you know, he agrees to it at first. But of course, when Floyd doesn't get his control, when Floyd doesn't want what he wants, or doesn't get what he wants, when he wants it, how he wants it, it's an explosion. So now it's, instead of agreeing to take it slowly, take it 1 day a week at a time and increase over the weeks go, he's, nope, I want my daughter. She gonna spend the night every night now. Like, that was never the agreement. She was never supposed to spend a night 3 days out of the week and just see me 4 days out of the week. Like, and then it's the fact of, like, you're not discussing this with me. You're not telling me this is what I want. You're just deciding it. He literally, again, just took the baby yesterday and decided, like, I want her to spend the night. But since we had therapy and the therapist didn't want me to bring the baby, I didn't really care about last night, because it's like, well, she's gonna have to go back over there in the morning anyway, so whatever. I'll have a night of sleep. I can catch up on some sleep. Like, cool. But then it's, no, I want her to spend the night Wednesday too, because those are supposed to be my days. Like, he just makes up stories in his mind. He's so damn delusional. Like, the least you can do is just say, like, this is what I want. You just demand, and I'm supposed to just follow suit because it's your daughter too. No, you're supposed to talk to me like a human, and then you expect me to talk to you like you're a human. Look how you treat me. I'm not going to treat you with respect. You don't treat me with respect, nigga. Like, F you, honestly. And that's a nice way of putting it. And I'm only putting it like that because I know my family members is watching this video. Like, I don't care about your feelings. So when we went to therapy today, which is why I'm making this video, I wasn't gonna make this video. I was gonna let it slide, let it die out, whatever, and then come to y'all later. I thought we could come and be in agreement and sit in front of the camera, tell people that it just doesn't work because we're just two different people. We could be happy, we could still be co-parents and be good for our daughter, but that's clearly not gonna happen. But it's like, it never ends. And he's such a toxic person, and I'm such not a toxic person that I just, okay, what do you want? Okay, you want to jump right into the 3 days a week? Cool, have her. She can spend the night. Cool. Just, I said, let me know. I said, I'm done talking about what was said through the text messages yesterday. Tell me, what day is the baby being dropped off or picked up from the both of us? Whether I have to come and pick her up, whether you have to drop her off, whatever. I said, tell me the days, tell me the time. I said, I'm giving this man full control to do what he want to do. And it still wasn't good enough. Now I'm not speaking to him nicely enough. Now it's, I'm going to walk out of the therapy and get, bye. I don't care. That was to hurt my feelings. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not your friend no more. You want to be enemies so damn bad. Now we enemies. Now we enemies. I'm not finna be your friend. I'm not finna hold your hand. I'm not finna talk to you nicely and be like, okay, Floyd, what days are you gonna take the baby and whatever? Like, I'm not here to be your friend. I asked you a simple, excuse my language. I asked you a simple question. What days is she gonna be getting picked up? And what days is she either gonna be getting dropped off, or do I need to pick her up? He couldn't answer that. That was too rushed for him. It was, I'm not talking to him. I'm not doing this. I'm not here to be your friend, bro. I'm not. We're not friends, clearly. You didn't want to be friends. I tried to be your friend. I tried to be your friend for way too long. You want to be enemies so bad? Let's go. Buck. Knuck if you buck. Go. The hell? But anyways, that's that. That's my crazy hectic life right now. Let me get a tissue. This story is probably all over the place because the camera keep cutting off, and it's like the spirits don't want me to tell my story when it's just time. It's time to tell the dang story. I don't care who here. I don't care who feelings get hurt about it being told. I don't care. This is my life. I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say when I want to say it, because clearly that's what everybody else around here doing. So I might as well jump ship and stop compromising my happiness for anybody else. So yeah. But for those of you who are concerned about my mental health, appreciate it, because I know y'all have rode with me through the beginning, since the beginning, and through it all. And a lot of y'all was happy for me, and this and that. Still be happy, because I'm happy. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I thank the Lord. I'm not depressed. I'm not stressed. I'm not none of that. I'm annoyed. Most definitely I'm annoyed because people want to be in control so damn bad they don't see what they do to other people, and they don't see how that's going to affect their baby. But that's fine. She'll realize that when she's old enough to understand what happened and what went down. Hopefully by the time she is old enough to understand everything, this doesn't have to happen no more. But dealing with people like her father, who knows? But anyways, I'm good. I'm happy. I thought the breakup would be hard. It's not. I thought being away from my baby for long periods of time would be hard. But once you actually deal with a baby, and it's funny because my dad told me this, like when we had broke up, how old was she? I don't know. One of the thousands of times we broke up when our baby was a baby. Probably somewhere in the middle. He was just like, he basically told me like, it's gonna come to a point, like, yes, you love your baby, but it's gonna come to a point to where you being around your baby so much, you're just gonna want to break. That's it. Like, you're gonna want him to take the baby, so just let him have the baby, let him see the baby, let him, you know, whatever. Don't take it so hard as if it's being taken from you, because it will come to a point to where, you know, that's gonna be easy for you. It's gonna come easier. And at the time, I'm like, it'll never be easy to be away from my baby. But when I tell you I'm stress-free, I haven't seen my baby, haven't heard from her, haven't seen a picture, don't know if she's alive and breathing, basically. I hope to God she is. But I'm not stressed about it. I miss her, yes, but I'm not stressed about it. But my dad told me, he was like, if you want this to work, don't go through the courts. If you still have any hope for your family, don't go through the courts. And that's the thing. He used to sneak, and we would literally be working on our relationship, and then out of the blue, I'm getting served with papers, police knocking at my door at 6 a.m. when me and my baby are sleeping, and banging down my door, serving me with court papers to go through the court system of how to work this out, and legally, basically, you get her these days, you get her that day. Like, boo. What? Twice. That happened two times. And it's, at this rate, it's gonna happen a third. But regardless, it is what it is. I'm not stressed about it. I'm over it. I'm happy. I feel free. I feel in love with myself. Like, I'm just great. I'm ready to move on and do things with my life that I haven't been able to do due to being a mom and having to take care of a baby every single day, every hour of the day by myself. I'm gonna keep being a great damn mom, and that's just that. So this video gonna be long as I don't know what, because I'm gonna have to cut and edit and do the most. But that's that. I mean, I'm good. I miss my baby. I wish she could come home and be with me and all this other stuff, but she has an annoying, that's not even enough of a word, annoying, spoiled, narcissistic, controlling, fear-driven dad, which, pray for him, because he gonna need it at this rate. I pray he gets common sense. I pray he understands how to communicate and actually be a decent co-parent, instead of beefing with somebody who literally has done nothing to you but try to help you and make your life easier. But that's not enough. So cool. I'm done. I give up. I'm waving the white flag. I'm waving the white flag and going on about my day, because I'm too dang happy. I'm too dang blessed. I'm too dang spiritual to just deal with such negativity. Like, and I think that's the thing of why he had to leave the place where we was just at, because I cleansed the room with incense. I lit candles. I'm setting the vibe. I needed clear communication and purity and protection. So I made sure that my environment represented that, and my environment provided that. And I just want to thank the spirits. I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank the universe for just providing that for me, because now I don't have to go through anything with anybody who is so toxic. I was protected today. Lord, thank you. I'm just blessed. I'm happy. I'm ready to move on. I'm done talking about this. So I'm gonna edit this video. I'm gonna post this video probably today, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.